Welcome everybody, I am 6am Comics, and this is reviewing my 9-year-old's comics. As promised, we will be taking a look at Nolan's 38-page crossover epic, Worldwide War. This beast of a graphic novel was made infamous by its inclusion of nearly every character within the Worldwide Comics catalog, and not just the published characters, but the unpublished ones as well. So let's not waste any more time. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you Worldwide War, a worldwide war with worldwide ways. Shall we? Like I'd ever do this any differently, let's begin with the overall presentation. This absolute chad of a comic is not your standard 8 to 12 page worldwide black and white floppy. It's 38 pages of fully colored superhero goodness. Even the chapter titles are unique and colorful. Though if I'm being honest, they don't make a lot of sense. Which I think Nolan realized around page 32 because this last chapter card, yeah, he clearly just gave up. Let's get back to the cover, because there's a lot to unpack here. While this story does indeed incorporate nearly every character in the Worldwide Archive, it's made evident who our main protagonists are: Dirt Biker, Black Widow, and Scorpion. Apart from Super Nolan, these were essentially the original backbones of Worldwide Comics. In fact, until this graphic novel was released, Super Nolan was treated as an entirely different property, unassociated with the universe Nolan had been building. Speaking of that universe, let's take a look at the superpowered roster taking up the lower right portion of the cover. In our top row, we've got Carnage, Quick, Miguel, Max, and the Human Spider, aka the League of Superheroes. In our second row, we've got Crystal Dude, a character you wouldn't be familiar with unless you've been privy to the many abandoned projects Nolan has begun over the years. We've also got Super Nolan, Scorpion, Black Widow, and Dirt Biker. The bottom row will seem a little obscure, save for one particular hero who's made a brief cameo or two in the spectacular Black Widow series, the up-and-comer Blue Jay, who just recently debuted his first solo title. We have Fire Guy, Elemental Guy, and Tic Tac Talk. And if you look closely, we've even got an early prototype of Invisible Man named Secret Man, sneakily hiding in the lineup. So needless to say, we've got a lot of heroes. So what is this insidious threat which has gathered all these different franchises together? Look no further, because I think it's quite clear. The Molder of Doom is at it again. But just what is he up to? And why have all these heroes reluctantly joined forces to stop him, when typically one hero has always been enough in the past? Well, Nolan wastes no time with the setup. The Molder of Doom has escaped from prison, and confidently announces to our heroes that he is uniting every villain in all eternity to team up and rule the world. Pretty big threat, I'd say. Our featured rogues gallery includes Tank, Killer Kitty, Mathman, the Sea Giant from the origin of the Scorpion, a robot, this guy, this other guy, this ghost thing, some guy in a dinosaur costume, and is that Marker Man? But the icing on the cake is this guy, Frank F. Frank, who's been commissioned by the Molder to build him a giant robot in his image. As far as plot goes, this is a very meat and potatoes superhero comic. Heavy on the action, heavy on the cameos, but no real plot twists or universe-changing events. The majority of the book follows our main protagonist traveling the world in search of other heroes to join them in the fight against the Molder and his rogues. Where this book excels is in the interactions between the heroes. The Scorpion, for instance, has always been an oddball in the worldwide universe. Understanding that he may not blend well with the edgier, action-packed world of heroes like Black Widow and Dirt Biker, Nolan humorously integrated him as a comic relief, specifically with a running gag involving his tail falling off of his suit, much to the amusement of the other heroes, who not only laugh at the situation, but also snap photos and send them to other heroes for a chuckle. While interactions like this are certainly comedic, Nolan knows how to balance the funny with the heartfelt, specifically in the interaction between Carnage and Fire Guy. As Carnage approaches Fire Guy's fiery domain, it triggers a troubling flashback for the leader of the League of Superheroes. We're never given the origin of Carnage in his title book, but here we find out that he was involved in an explosive car accident which left him cursed forever with an eternal flame on his face, suppressed only by a special mask created by some mysterious doctors. Worldwide War also implies that Black Widow and Mulder may share the same relationship as they do in the spectacular Black Widow timeline. When our heroes finally confront the Mulder, Black Widow refers to him as Jay. In the spectacular Black Widow comics, Mulder's name is Jacob, and he is the twin brother of Maxwell, aka the Black Widow. This connection is finally confirmed in Black Widow number 6, Paint the Town Red, and then later in Super Nolan 3. Speaking of Super Nolan, let's address the elephant in the room. If the Super Nolan books are now canon to the worldwide universe, why is Frank F. Frank working with the Mulder? As we all know, Frank turned good at the end of Super Nolan 1. So what gives? As we lead into our final act of the book, Frank reveals that he was tricked by the Mulder into believing he was forming a team of good guys. Feeling betrayed, he promptly turns on the Mulder and destroys the giant Mulder robot he built for him. Now that's at least one plot hole filled in, but we should also remember that Frank F. Frank wasn't just a major villain in Super Nolan 1, he was also the big baddie in the League of Superheroes novel. And as we all remember, that story ended with Frank being sentenced to 100 years in prison. Chronologically speaking, this places the League of Superheroes story before Super Nolan, but it doesn't explain how Frank escaped a life sentence. Granted, the League of Superheroes did deal with some time-traveling shenanigans, and as we all know, the worldwide universe is no stranger to such things. All theories aside, the rest of the book plays out rather standardly, with a giant showdown between our heroes and villains. Black Widow quickly trips up and takes down the Sea Giant with his speed and agility. Scorpion finally discovers a use for his loosely attached tail and launches it at Mathman, stunning him unconscious. Super Nolan uses his laser eyes to incapacitate Tank, Dirtbiker uses his sword to chop up a robot, and Carnage manages to turn Killer Kitty against 2 unnamed henchmen. Also, we get a surprise last-minute intervention for the joint creation of Nolan and his former editor / big brother Milo, Plasma. And what's this? He's taking down Marker Man? This book is pure insanity, and I'm here for it. We conclude with our 3 original protagonists approaching Mulder before we cut to the Mulder sitting impatiently in a jail cell. Which, if we all know anything about the Mulder, he'll be out in no time. Personally, I found this book to be a lot of fun. It's a blast getting to see all of these beloved characters finally interacting with one another. While ensemble events rarely give any depth to their all-star lineups, Worldwide War actually helped develop a number of personalities within the Worldwide Gallery. But this book isn't without its shortcomings. While it gave us more detailed characterization for the heroes, the villains were sadly underutilized and given little to no development. I would have loved to have learned more about Mathman, as from what I gathered he possessed a very creative set of powers involving magical mathematical equations and symbols. A plus sign which caused Super Nolan's glove to enlarge and fly off, and a time zero equation which made his other glove completely disappear. The philosophical directions one can take with a villain like this are infinite. In the eyes of the beholder, math can be a source of limitless power and potential, or it could be a source of uncompromising evil and persecution. Given Nolan's relationship with math class, I'm pretty sure I know which direction he leans on with this one. But at the end of the day, I believe Worldwide War served one very specific purpose: to bring all of Nolan's properties under one umbrella, one universe. The Worldwide Universe. Countless comic book creations seemingly existing in their own bubbles now had an entire sandbox to play in together. If you love Super Nolan 3, you have Worldwide War to thank for that glorious crossover tale. And who knows what team-ups are waiting just around the corner. And there you have it, the long-awaited review of Worldwide War. Now, I know we typically go through these stories page by page for these episodes, but given that this particular book is nearly 3 times as long as our usual showcases, I decided against having a 30-minute long video and just kind of gave you the cliff notes. But I'm not as heartless as I seem. If there's any interest, I'd certainly be open to doing some kind of long-form reading for some of the heftier books, like League of Superheroes or the Super Nolan trilogy, or obviously Worldwide War. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And in any case, I'm going to give my rating of Worldwide War, and I'm gonna give it a worldwide winning. I thought that was pretty witty. Okay, bye-bye.